Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel, I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. I know I've been MIA for a couple of days, but I promise there's a good reason for it. Just about 4 days ago, I had an insanely bad allergic reaction to some new laundry soap that we'd got. That's actually in an upcoming shopping haul. I haven't done it yet. My entire body was covered in hives. It was horrible. I haven't had this kind of reaction since I was like 20. And for those who don't know, that's a long time. What do you guys think about the new arrangement? I decided to I moved this shelf over, and then I moved this shelf. It was up against that wall, running that direction. I'm thinking a nice little picture right there would do it pretty good justice, but I kind of like it. I'm not sure about the exact orientation of how I'm gonna move everything, but I'm digging it. What do you think? This allergic reaction really made me realize that I have a lot of work to do on my gut health. I had an allergic reaction to laundry soap when my son was a baby, and so, you know, that was like 19 years ago, something like that. I'm allergic to Dreft soap. It's supposed to be the gentlest soap on earth. We were using it to wash my baby's clothes in, and one of my shirts made it into the mix. I put it on, and within a very short period of time, I was red in the shape of my t-shirt. No joke. I actually had one other reaction from a certain kind of a body wash, but it wasn't quite as intense of a reaction. You might be wondering why this particular allergic reaction made me feel like I am having major issues in my gut. To put it simply, it migrated. It wasn't like a normal skin surface allergic reaction. We had actually washed our sheets in this laundry soap, and that was the first time that we had used it. And I went to bed not thinking anything of it, and then within an hour, I just started itching like crazy. It was awful. I was itching everywhere, all over my body. I'm just starting to itch, and I'm thinking, I'm losing my mind thinking that I have some kind of a bug in there. So I'm tearing the sheets off. I'm looking at everything. I'm just, doing everything possible. I'm terrified that we have like bed bugs or something. After like an hour of this, I finally went and got my husband because I wanted his help to help me figure out what on earth was biting me. But that's when he actually told me that he had washed our sheets in the new laundry soap, and it was probably having an allergic reaction to that. Yep, I was. It was awful. That night was not the worst. I was wearing pajamas, all that stuff, and I still got this hive through my clothes. And it was all over, every square inch. The only exception was really my face. Even the palms of my hands and the bottoms of my feet were itching like crazy. But at that point, it hadn't actually really mutated a whole lot into like welts and stuff like that. That was a lovely gift for the next day. It was actually helped a lot by, I think it's Calidro lotion, and that really helped the itch. But the next day, it got so much worse. I had huge welts, like this long on my body. It was terrible. And it was just everywhere, mostly on my upper body. It started up here. My whole arms were covered, all up here, my underarms, everything was just covered in these gnarly welts and horrible hive reaction. It was awful. And the second day, it was the strain, it like migrated. That's what made me feel like it's not just a normal skin reaction at all. It's deeper than that. And it kind of got to me. It really started to scare me a little bit because it just wouldn't go away, and it kept intensifying and migrating. It moved literally from like my upper body, and it traveled, and it started to go down, then it started to hit my thighs and then my calves. I did actually reach out on Facebook and ask for some help on like some natural remedies. Most people kind of suggested Benadryl, which isn't really a natural remedy, but I did go to the store and I bought it. It did nothing at all. But then people had suggested like lavender and taking a bath with baking soda, an oatmeal bath. There were a few different recommendations, and I'm still gonna try a couple of them. My friend Nicole over at Hidden Oaks Homestead, she was one of the people who responded to my Facebook plea for help, and she straight up sent me a tincture and a salve just cause. Like, how cool is that? Thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to receive it. She said it's a goldenrod tincture and salve. And I'm really excited about that because I can actually make that. And if this helps with this sort of an issue, I can make it and have it in my yet to be existing apothecary. So I'm very excited about that. I actually have some drying in my room back there. I do still have somewhat of the reaction left over. It's not completely gone, but thankfully it is mostly gone. So you might be asking, why am I telling you all of this? And the simple reason is it will kind of change the way that I'm doing things. I don't know how much it'll change my vlogs, but it's definitely gonna change the things that I cook, the way that I eat, and all of those sorts of things. I definitely feel like this whole reaction was while not being intentional, was definitely self-inflicted. I've not been doing well lately. Not horrible, but I've been making stupid little mistakes. Like I was having sugar-free candy and I was trying to have the good kind, you know, the stuff that's like sweetened with stevia and stuff like that. That stuff still has gnarly ingredients in it that's really bad for your gut. And me having a history of SIBO, it was a terrible decision and I made it several times. Like 4. And I just had many of these different gut reactions and it was not good. And each time it got worse. Needless to say, I firmly believe that I caused my allergic reaction. That's why I'm definitely under the belief that it's something that I need to address and address hard and heavy. So what's that gonna look like? For me personally, I am doubling down on kinda carnivore. My reason for that is that my gut needs a break. I do not have the ability, nor have I ever, to properly digest vegetables, grains, carbohydrates, anything like that. That is likely due to the SIBO that I probably still have. I'm not, however, gonna completely go carnivore. My plan is to build up my gut health with a properly formulated, mostly carnivore diet with fermented foods. I'm gonna do a lot of animal fermenting foods. 2 days ago, I made some bone broth. That's what I'm sipping on. Bone broth is super good for your digestive health. It has collagen in there and all kinds of stuff that just really help to kind of help your gut to heal and seal. You know what I'm saying? And I actually made that before I put the connection together and realized it. This stuff did actually gel in the fridge. I know it has lots of gelatin. Once the broth was finished, I went ahead and put in a batch of yogurt. Some raw milk yogurt that is not heated. So it is completely raw yogurt. Well, it's heated to like the degree that you're supposed to heat yogurt, but I didn't heat it at the super high temperature to break down the protein. So it's not gonna be a super thick drink. I also have some milk kefir going. I got the kefir grains for a different project and it turns out it's really good timing. Milk kefir specifically has the highest bacterial count of any naturally fermented food on earth that people are aware of. And when you ferment it with raw milk, it makes it even better. So I am very blessed that I have access to raw milk and I plan on utilizing that. A lot of the fermented foods, especially in the beginning that I'm gonna be consuming are animal based, but I'm working on a fermentation book and an ebook kind of thing, nothing like super fancy. I'm making a bunch of vegetable ferments at the same time that I'm really excited about. They're really delicious so far, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm creating all these recipes, so I obviously have to test them out. I don't wanna throw a bunch of ingredients on a piece of paper and tell you it's gonna taste good. You're gonna know it's good. But at any rate, so I do have some vegetable ferments, but mostly what I'm gonna do in the beginning is like dairy ferments, yogurt, kefir, things that don't put a huge stress on your digestive system. Things that have fiber in them, vegetables, stuff like that can have a huge effect on me personally. Throughout my life, I've never really had an issue with fermented dairy. I cannot have standard dairy. Like if you go to the store and just pick up any random Joe Schmo whole milk jug, cannot drink it. If you ferment it, I can have it. I can have limited amounts of raw dairy without issue, and I can have all the fermented raw dairy I want to have. I have yet to see my threshold. If I'm consuming these foods, especially like yogurt and kefir, milk kefir specifically actually has bacteria that will populate your gut and continue to grow and continue to breed and just continue to improve your gut health. Yogurt is more transient bacteria and it is actually food for the bacteria that is in your gut. So if I'm consuming the kefir as well as the yogurt, you know, it's kind of a double whammy. Also, I have water kefir and kombucha and jun. And I'm super duper excited about that. All that to say, I'm in super gut recovery mode and that's where I've been. Just been miserable. So I'm definitely feeling so much better than I have been, but I would really love to know what your guys' home remedies are for dealing with things like this, like hives, allergic reaction, clearly having some kind of leaky gut issue, all of those sorts of things. Ooh, one other thing I'm gonna be doing is I'm actually gonna be making El Ruderai yogurt. I need to order that one I do need to actually order. We're actually gonna be making the El Ruderai yogurt, which is the yogurt from Supergut, the book that I was reading 7 or 8 months ago, and I never actually ordered the probiotics to make the yogurt and never took that step. So that is coming up here, and I'm also going to be ordering through Cultures for Health. They actually have a set of yogurt cultures, 3 of them. It's an heirloom culture basically that will culture at room temperature raw milk and actually get a reasonable thick product out of it. All of that to say, I think a lot of the stuff that I'm going to end up doing is going to be a lot of health-centric kind of things, not diet related, but like health centric sort of things, fermenting, carnivore, whatever it may be. I don't really know. But I would like to know what you guys would like to see in this newly discovered journey that I apparently have to take. Because of my own stupid fault. Needless to say, I'm just upset with myself because I know that I caused this. I know that I brought this upon myself by just making some poor decisions. Making a lot of poor decisions, actually. And I can no longer ignore it. But I've never had any sort of like a deep-seated thing that affected me that I had to work on my gut for. It's only just been, it's always been about health, but most of it has been about weight. And it's never been, not never, but it obviously has not been a motivating factor enough for me to get my butt in gear and get healthy. So having this latest reaction has really made me understand that I don't ever want to have another one of these again. I cannot describe to you the size of the welts that were on my body. I'm really sorry if I made anybody worry in my absence, but I just had no motivation. As I mentioned earlier, I would love to get your home remedies that are not pharmaceutical. I'm not interested in anything pharmaceutical, anything chemically made. I don't care how well it works. I'm not interested in that. I really want to gather together a list of a lot of these natural remedies that I can help myself with, as well as other people when anybody might be having this kind of an issue. I hope that you guys will let me know down below what part of this you would like to see, other than the obvious making ferments and all of those sorts of things, which I would do anyways. But what else, what other part of this sort of healing journey are you guys interested in? So if you guys are new around here, we just moved to our 30-acre homestead in southern Missouri, sharing with you all the things that we're doing to turn our home into a homestead. A lot of that is going to be a little bit different in the coming future. Not terribly different, because we still live on a homestead and we still need to take care of the homestead. So just be having some added content. A lot of what I like to do is canning, freezing, dehydrating, and fermenting, as well as sharing with you ways that you can use that fermented food in your everyday cooking. If that sounds awesome to you, click this button right here. This is the subscribe button. This is what tells YouTube you want to come back here. Up here is a video that Mr. Google Pants thinks that you're going to enjoy. Over here is my last fermenting recipe, and then up here is going to be my fermenting playlist, where you can find all of the things I've fermented since I started the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.